Coach Em here. Today we're talking about something that's so important when it comes to raising our teenagers, setting boundaries and consequences. Coming up. If you haven't already done so, if you can do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, like button, and leave a comment, that would be great. I'm on a mission to spread these tools on this channel out to as many people as possible. And as you know, the more interaction this video gets, the more YouTube's algorithm will spread it out to more people. So please help me to help others by subscribing, liking, and commenting. Thank you. Okay, we all know that setting boundaries and consequences is extremely important in helping our teens build the skills that they need in life. But I want to offer a little bit of a different approach to it today. What if instead of handing down the rules and consequences on your own, you actually partnered with your teen to create them? When you involve your teen in setting the rules and consequences, it doesn't just build accountability, it builds trust, respect, and a stronger relationship. So let's talk about the 5 steps to this approach in setting boundaries in a way that's collaborative, intentional, and helps your teen feel more responsible for their actions. I want to make a quick distinction here. I'm using the word boundaries in place of the word expectations. I want to be really clear here. We're not using this method that I'm going to show you for non-negotiable boundaries, like the boundary of personal safety, or the boundary to protect you from your teen being verbally abusive to you, or the boundary of you making it clear that drugs are not allowed in your home. These are non-negotiable boundaries. They are not up for discussion. There is no partnering with your teen on these. They are set and they are firm. Typically, we should only have about 3 to 5 non-negotiable boundaries around how we're treated, how our home is treated, etc. I can go into this in another video and another time. But what I'm talking about today when I use the word boundary is not about these non-negotiable boundaries. Now that I clarified that, let's talk about setting boundaries, expectations for your teen. Let's be honest. No teen likes to be told what to do. We don't like to be told what to do. But when your teen has a say in the rules, and they understand why those rules are there, they're more likely to follow them because they've been part of the process in creating them. Now, does it mean that they're going to like the rules? No. Does it mean that they're going to follow the rules every single time? No. And we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, the first step is to collaborate on setting the boundaries. This is about working with your teen, not just telling them what the rules are. Start with sitting down together and having a conversation about the expectations that you both have. When they feel like their voice matters, they're more likely to take ownership of the rules that you create together. An example, let's say that you're setting a curfew. Instead of saying your curfew is 9 p.m., ask them, what time do you think is reasonable to be home on school nights? Start a dialogue. Maybe they'll say 10 p.m., and you can explain why you think 9 p.m. is better. Doing this creates room for compromise and mutual respect. Step number 2, explain the why. It's important to explain the why behind the boundaries. Teens, just like us, need to understand that the rules aren't there to control them. They're there to protect, guide, and help them make responsible decisions. When they understand the reasoning, they're much more likely to respect the rules. It doesn't mean that they'll necessarily like the rules, but they'll have a better understanding of where you're coming from. And remember, your approach in explaining the why behind the rule is extremely important. Always use a calm, neutral tone. Even if they start to raise their voice or get emotional, continue to talk with them in a calm, neutral tone. Remove the emotion on your end. It'll keep the conversation from escalating. An example, if you're setting a curfew of 9 p.m., explain, I'm a little concerned that if you're out too late that you won't get enough sleep for school. And having you home by 9 p.m. helps me know that you're safe. That's why I think 9 p.m. is a good time to be home. What are your thoughts? When you share your reasoning, they'll see that you're thinking about their well-being, not just making arbitrary rules. And asking them what their thoughts are gives them a chance to feel heard. That's so important. It also shows them that you are trying to reach a compromise with them, which is a very, very big deal in their eyes. And here's where the partnership really comes in. Step 3 is to co-create the consequences together. Instead of deciding the consequences on your own, ask your teen, what do you think should happen if the boundary is not followed? When they help set the consequences, they're more likely to accept and follow the rule, knowing the consequences ahead of time, because they've been part of the decision-making process. If you're setting a curfew, ask them, What do you think is a fair consequence if you come home late? Maybe they suggest losing an hour of curfew the next time, or having to check in more often, whatever that is. And obviously you both are deciding and agreeing together with the consequences, but you're asking their input. This gives them more ownership of the process. When you partner with your teen to set both the boundaries and the consequences, you're not just enforcing rules, you're teaching them responsibility and giving them a sense of control and autonomy. This builds respect on both sides, and it reinforces the idea that boundaries aren't about punishment. They're about trust and building responsibility. And step 4, very important, make consequences learning opportunities, not just punishments. Consequences should be about teaching your teen the importance of responsibility and following through on commitments. It's about helping them become a person of integrity, a person others can count on and trust, a person who takes accountability for what they do. So make sure that the consequences are fair and tied directly to the behavior. And finally, step 5, one of the most important steps. You and your teen need to follow through together. Once you've agreed on the boundaries and the consequences, it's important that both of you stick to what was decided. If your teen breaks a rule, which at some point they will, expect it. That way, when it happens, you can simply put the consequence that you both agreed into place without any emotion attached to it. Consistency is the key here. I cannot stress this enough. Always be consistent in allowing the consequences to play out according to what you both agreed to, no matter what. Because this is how our teen begins to understand the effect that follows their actions. If they come home late, calmly remind them, remember, we agreed that if you were late, you'll have to come home an hour earlier the next time. Because they were part of setting the consequence, they're more likely to accept it without too much resistance. When you approach setting boundaries and consequences as a partnership, it shifts the dynamic between you and your teen. They begin to feel more responsible for their actions, and you're building trust and mutual respect. This is how we guide our teens to make better decisions while giving them the space to learn and grow. And if you want to learn more about building a stronger relationship with your teen, check out the free training below on the 3 secrets to get your teen to actually listen to you. It's in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with anyone that you think may benefit from it. And if you want to see more videos like this one, where I give you the tools and strategies to navigate the teen years, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click on the bell to get notified when I upload a new video. I hope that you have an incredible day, and I'll see you in the next video.